All right, greetings from the dark continent, Conscious Carrickle here, or Adams Van Sale, and tonight we're definitely shining a very bright light on the goings-on down south. We're going to be talking about and analyzing the AfriForum versus EFF, or AfriForum versus Malema case regarding the singing of Kill the Boer / Kiss the Boer. Firstly, I'd just like to point out that there's already a very nice audience waiting here. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are tuning in. This is definitely a very interesting topic to be talking about. I'm personally involved as a representative of AfriForum, so I can share some of my experiences and my observations as well. So, firstly, I would just like to also get some admin out of the way, or not admin, but rather something that I think a lot of people sometimes are unaware of. You're welcome to ask questions in the chat. I will answer as many as possible. Don't think that you have to send a super chat for me to see them. You can ask your questions. Please leave your comments as well in the live chat. I read as many as possible, put some on the screen as well when I get the chance. But yeah, just putting that out there. Please don't be shy to ask your questions. I'm not going to be expecting you have to give me money to read your question or your comment. I will give the live chat section as much TLC as possible when I get a moment between my pieces of analysis. So firstly, I see Tricky, who is already in. Hey, man. Dean Oswald says, good one, CC, very interesting. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Kermit says, hello, Kermit. I hope you're doing well. All right, let's, and I see Muscovy Duck say also waves. So, all right. I actually spent the entirety of yesterday just going through this entire court case, or specifically Julius Malema's testimony under oath, his cross-examination. I went through it again, even though I was there. I was sitting there in the court. You'll probably see me in the background when we start putting some clips on the screen. Even though I was there, I had to go through it again because I'm writing 2 opinion pieces this week on the case. The one, I'm outlining all the heinous and disturbing things that Julius Malema said under cross-examination, and the things that the media in South Africa completely ignored or just like buried in the 5th paragraph of their reporting. So I had to get the quotes absolutely right. So I had to watch the entire cross-examination of Julius Malema again, but I picked up on a lot of things that I didn't even remember on the first go with it. So yeah, I also just want to say goeienaand aan Dagbreker. Nice to see you. The Prudentialist, good friend of the channel, has an excellent channel himself. Says, glad you're covering this. Well, thank you very much. I feel like I have a lot to add here, seeing as I was there. But yeah, go check out the Prudentialist as well. He does excellent geopolitical analysis and very thoughtful videos, sincere videos. So you go check out that. You can see the username there in the bottom of the screen. Go check it out. All right, let's jump into it. Just between clips, I'm going to be doing the screen presentation thing, but that's going to be a little bit of a delay. I'm not lightning quick with this, and my mouse is a little bit buggy, so just bear with me. The clips that I want to show you will play. I just need to navigate these very long streams that you can find on AfriForum's YouTube channel. That's maybe, before I get into that, just another thing for those curious. The entire court case, you can go watch. You could have watched it live last week or the past 2 weeks, but you can also watch it as catch-up on AfriForum's YouTube channel. So just go to AfriForum's YouTube channel and you can watch the entire court case as it unfolded, uncensored, uncut, exactly as it happened. So right, let's see. Share screen. I'm going to start off. I think a good tactic would be to actually give you the context while I'm looking up, or while I'm getting the screen shared, give you some of the context on what I'm going to play here. So firstly, on this clip, this is going to be about Julius Malema when he talks about specifically the there was a comment where he was talking about the it's a court case that we're going to be doing in, I'm just getting my facts correct here. It's a court case that we will be doing in March. At the end of February it starts with the firing of a firearm on stage of Julius Malema, the alleged firing of a firearm. Let's just get that clear. It's on video though. So here's a comment that relates to that Mark Oppenheimer, our advocate, picked up on that I thought was very good. So let's play that clip, and then if you don't hear the sound,
part of the song,
anyway, let's go.
Has you firing guns and saying "pow, pow." Is that correct?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that?
Chants, by their own nature, they agitate. They are used for mobilization. They are used for agitation. They are used to make sure that the youth become interested in the struggle. And then that's why there will be sounds like that. But to show that there's nothing literal, even the shooting of the gun is not the real gun. So if it was everything meant in a literal sense, we could have taken guns and shot them in the air, the way we are doing with our hands.
Would you stand on a stage with a gun and shoot it in the air?
Come again?
Would you stand on a stage with a real gun and shoot it in the air?
You are trying your luck.
I'm asking a simple question.
You are trying your luck.
In what sense?
You are trying your luck because, my Lord, this question is asking me about is before court.
All right, so then they get into let's just stop sharing here. So then they get into the technicalities of whether Advocate Oppenheimer can bring up this question, and yeah, I'm not going to get into that. That's boring legal speak. But it's interesting what happens there is that Mark picked up on the fact that Julius said that if they were serious about in the song "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer," they would shoot real guns in the air when they're on stage, not just finger guns. And then Mark asks him the question of, would you ever do that? And he doesn't answer because he knows there's a court case coming of him allegedly firing a firearm on stage. I had that clip lined up to show it, but maybe I can quickly find it. Yeah, here we go. Just for context, because I think it is important. Let's see. Okay, let's share that now. Share screen. Just like I said, bear with me while I'm in this sharing screen mode. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So this was at a rally in 2018. There we go. All right. So that was at a rally in 2018. And that's why he didn't answer that question, because there's a court case coming up over that. So I just wanted to highlight that quickly before we get into the bigger court case, because I thought that was very interesting and I want to get that on the record as well. So let's see here. I've got it all very neatly lined up here in front of me in regards to how I want to approach all the clips. So let's start off with this one. So that firearm clip out of the way. Then I'm not going to show, so I have a long list of all the heinous stuff that he said that I'm going to be incorporating into my opinion piece. Some of them I'm going to be showing you the clip. Others, I'm for the sake of time, I can't show all of them. So I'm going to be showing the worst of it. But I will read some of the context of some of the other things that he said, because looking up the clip now within the 6-hour stream, it's just going to take too much time. And I don't have an hour tonight, seeing as I will be on Joe Emilio's show in 1 hour at 8 o'clock to talk about this case. So we're going to be ending tonight a bit early, about 5 to 8. So we're going to end about 5 or 10 minutes early. So I want to get that time in. So here's some context on some other things that he said. I'm not going to be looking up the clips, but I will be giving you the timestamp so you can go check it out yourself. Like I said, on AfriForum's channel, the entire thing is there. This was on day 7. So at 5:04:52, he says, so Malema refused to condemn EFF supporters who sang "Kill the Boer" at Senekal after being shown video evidence. So this happened in 2020 with the murder of Brendin Horner, a 21-year-old farm manager that was brutally beaten up and killed and then hung on a pole. And there was massive anti-farm murder protests in the town of Senekal. And then at the second protest event at that in Senekal, the EFF showed up as well, and they sang "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer" outside the courtroom as the family, the mother and father of the murdered young farmer, sat inside. It's horrific stuff. That's actually why. So maybe just for context, before we continue, that's why AfriForum lodged this complaint for this court case. So for the past 2 weeks, the civil rights organization AfriForum's hate speech case against the leader of the EFF, Julius Malema, and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, and the economic freedom fighters, EFF, was on the roll at the South Gauteng High Court. AfriForum lodged this complaint in October 2020 of the supporters of the EFF, and then the context that I just gave you. So let's get into and then another one that I'm not going to be showing the clip, like I said, for time reasons, is at 5:11:33. That's the timestamp. So Advocate Oppenheimer points out how Malema denies farm murders. That's what he did at Senekal in his speech. He said there's no murdering of farmers. There's no murdering of white farmers in South Africa. There's no farm murders. And then Mark Oppenheimer, the advocate, points out that he chooses to talk about, when he's confronted by farm murders, the issue of farm murders, he chooses to talk about crime in general, while specifically talking about black oppression as opposed to oppression in general, when that issue is the topic of conversation. So the next clip I want to show you is when he talks about the nature of the EFF. So that's at 5:31:06. So let me just go get that quickly here, and then we can, what was it? 5:31:06. And then I can show you this. Okay. Stay from here. All right. And this is day 7. Just to remind you, if you want to go watch along and go check out for yourself the context and the reference and everything. There's nothing's being hidden here. So let's see a share screen. Day 7. On the AfriForum YouTube channel, you'll see it says Dag 7, Afrikaans for day, DAG, but the court proceedings are in English. So just maybe to clarify that. Let's see. Share. All right. Here we go.
My lord, that speech was shown in court, a 20-minute speech. The salient portion of it for our purposes is that Mr. Malema issues 2 denials. The one is he says there are no farm murders and no white people are being murdered. In court, he then says, I'm going to gloss that, I'm going to downplay it, I'm going to say something different. And my point is that's not what you said to the crowd. So you get to have your cake and eat it. You get to say the outrageous thing to the crowd, and then in front of these cameras and in front of this court, you can present yourself as someone moderate. And that's the game that you're playing.
I never said I'm someone moderate. I'm very radical and very militant, and I make no apology about that. And I stand by everything I said. My Lord, let them play you the whole.
So that's the first instance where he says that. And then there's another instance where he actually goes into more detail. So he said there, Advocate Oppenheimer outlines how Malema pretends to be more moderate in front of the media, and then in front of his supporters is a different thing. And then he says, I've never said I'm someone moderate. I'm very radical, very militant. Now on day 8, I'm going to jump to day 8. I'm going to come back to day 7 just in a moment. I just want to get back to another comment where he said the exact same thing. So that's on day 8, and that's at the timestamp 2:02:48. All right, so I will present that on screen now. Let's go.
And you've described yourselves as a revolutionary militant party, is that correct?
Very radical and militant.
Radical and militant.
Yes.
And so, and you would be happy to then endorse the use of violence for your revolutionary aims?
My Lord, when the time comes and the conditions on the ground necessitate that arms must be taken, we'll do so without hesitation.
So there he says, I mean, that's pretty blatant. Malema says when the time comes and the conditions on the ground necessitate that arms must be taken, he will do so without hesitation. Then at 2:14:40, that's the timestamp, he says something else that I think is also quite disturbing. Let me just get, I think it's around here. Yeah.
time ago.
Are you scared of killing?
I'm not scared of killing. A revolutionary is a walking killing machine, not scared of death. If that need arise, I will kill, and I will do so with no hesitation, especially in defense of my people.
So there, he says that, well, firstly, he says he's not scared of killing, and then he says revolutionary is a walking killing machine. I mean, that's all you need to hear. Now, the last clip I want to play you is of day 7, is when he talked about the concept of white victims in South Africa. The timestamp, as I said, I give the timestamps so you guys can go check it out. You can go watch the full court case if you want to. You can watch the entire context around it so that you can see I'm not taking anything out of context. If you want to go check out for yourself, everything is over there. That's why I'm giving the timestamps. I just don't have time to play like the entire conversation or a cross-examination that plays out in court. We don't have time for that, unfortunately. So the timestamp of what I want to show you next is 55056. That's the timestamp. So let's go there. And that's on day 7. Let's see here. 55056. Let me just get the clip or get the stream to the part that I want to talk about. Okay, here we go. So this is day 7, and let me just present that as well. Day 7. All right.
They remain the victims. Black people remain the victims.
Can there be white victims?
Where?
Is it possible for there to be white victims?
Where?
In South Africa?
No.
There can be no white
victims. Not
victims.
at the current moment. No.
So, according to Malema's worldview, there cannot be something as a white victim in South Africa. Even when he was presented with cases where white victims were brutally murdered and tortured, those people aren't victims in his mind. Right. So that concludes day 7 of what I wanted to show you. Day 8 is where things got a bit spicy. So that's actually what I'm rushing to get there. Day 7 was more of laying the foundation work. Advocate Oppenheimer wanted to get Julius Malema in his comfort zone so that he just talks freely and goes on long rants because he's just giving him rope. So let's just see. Yeah, that's definitely the end of day 7 of what I wanted to cover. All right. Now, here's the other thing. I'm going to show you another clip before I get to this one. This is day 8. So earlier that week, me and the AfriForum team, when we went out, we exited the court because the court proceedings were done for the day. The EFF supporters were blocking the gate there, not letting us through. And eventually the police made way for us there. And then as we exited, the EFF supporters there started shouting very clearly, "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer," in our direction, right around us. You'll see now on the clip. They probably tried to intimidate us, I reckon, but I don't really find the behaving like a child very intimidating, to be quite honest. But let me show you that clip. So here we go. This is actually a clip on my channel. The clip is called EFF Sings Kill the Boer, the Farmer outside South Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg. Let me just present that and then we can... I saw here, True Capitalist Investor says, how odd is it being part of this? It is surreal. It is very strange being part of this high-profile court case, being there, sitting there, looking evil in the face. It is exhausting, but it's also exciting at the same time. So let's see. I see a Defrayed to Watcher says, good afternoon, evening, everyone. Please hit the thumbs up and share the stream. Thank you very much, Defrayed to Watcher. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's get to that clip that I wanted to show you of when we exited the court. You'll see I'm in the clip. I'm the guy wearing the orange buff. Let's just find it over here. All right. You can see the EFF blocking the gate there. I'm there in front. Sorry, guys. They're just there at and there at the end, you can see one of the EFF guys actually grab grab my colleague Adam Zorutz's phone. And yeah, that's actually quite hectic. He got his phone back, but yeah. So yeah, that was us exiting the court. Then let me just line this up. So okay, day 7 is done. Now where? Let's see. Okay, so the timestamp I'm going to now is on day 8 on the AfriForum YouTube channel. That would be Dag 8, DAG, and the timestamp is 4521. So let me just go there. Because Julius Malema is going to be responding to our team showing him that clip that I just showed you. Let me just find it here. 4521. Right. Just make sure that's it. Yes. Okay. Let's share this. Day 8. Let me just scroll past this clip.
Bah.
Now, Mr. Malema, is correct that are those people members of your party?
I don't know.
Are they supporters?
I don't know.
Are they wearing EFF regalia?
Yes.
Are they chanting the words "Kill the Boer, the farmer"?
Yes.
Do you denounce them doing that?
I don't. I
You
told
don't?
you I can sing it myself.
You can sing it yourself.
Yes, I said this earlier on. The people are being firstly pushed at the gate there. I don't know what happened. What is the situation there? Then they say, don't push, don't push, don't push it. And from there, they start chanting, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. I don't know what happened.
Now, Mr. Malema, what's so interesting about your case is that you've tried to walk this bizarre line. And you say, they've got the wrong man. I don't sing that song. I sing Kiss. And now you say, well, I would sing that song. And those supporters of mine are singing that song.
I said that when I started my law, that I will sing it. I just take a decision not to sing it. But it doesn't mean I won't sing it.
All right. So yeah, they pretty much admits, well, firstly, he doesn't condemn his supporters that sing that song, directed at AfriForum's team, singing "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer," not "Kiss the Boer." And then he also says, no, he will sing that. He just doesn't want to at the moment. But if he ever wants to, he will gladly sing that. So yeah, that's quite an admission under oath. It's not doing his case very well here, seeing as this case is specifically about the song. That was, yeah. But see, the ego catches you in the end. So, right. So that's what I wanted to show you there at the beginning. And then, so here's a bit that's going to be a bit maybe hard to watch for someone. Well, not hard to watch, but here's where it gets evil. So let me just get the timestamp again. This is day 8. Now the timestamp is going to be 10240. That's where we're going now. Okay, 10240. Right. All right, let me just present this on screen. Okay, here we go. Oh, not this one. Here we go. This one.
The book says, on 6th of March 2009, Alice Lotta at the age of 76 and her daughter Helen at the age of 57 were tortured to death on their farm in Allen Bridge near Volkom in the Free State. Their home was several hundred meters from the Allen Ridge police station. Both women were tortured for hours, being stabbed with broken glass bottles in their vaginas. One of the women also had her breast cut off while she was still alive. Helen's injuries were so extreme that the medical examiner was unable to tell if she had also been raped. Alice had been stabbed in the neck and throat and had drowned in her own blood. Their blood was used to write the words, "Kill the Boer," on the walls of their homestead. What's your reaction to that?
It's a criminality. It's a criminality, my lord. People commit criminality and write whatever they want to write. There is another case of a white farmer who killed a 13-year-old.
I'm asking you about this case.
I'm telling you now. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. Where a young man's private parts and all of that were cut and buried by a white farmer. Why are you not citing it there? What was written after that?
Let's think about your case. You're giving a case of a white farmer who cuts off the private parts of it, you said, of a black person.
A black young 13-year-old.
Would you call that a...
Just maybe pause before you continue. I'm sorry that I didn't give a more severe warning for graphic content being described. I forgot that Advocate Mark Oppenheimer actually reads some of these stories in detail. So yeah, I'm sorry if some of you find that very repulsive and upsetting. So I apologize for not giving even myself sometimes these stories. It's difficult to listen to.
A crime, would you call that a hate crime?
It's murder.
It's just murder.
It's murder.
Is it just
of a
murder?
black 13-year-old who is allegedly, my lord, was stealing mangoes.
Would you call it a racist murder?
It's driven by racist motive.
It is.
Yes.
Now, would you accept the same?
Because
in
the
this
farmer
case?
is in a position of power.
Okay.
He unleashes power against the vulnerable.
And the torturers who tortured this mother and daughter to death and then wrote the words, "Kill the Boer in blood," were they in a position of power over those two women?
My lord, we don't know if they are farmers. We don't know their social standing. We don't know their relationship to the means of production. And at the face value, if you present it like that without those facts to me, it's murder.
Now, that just shows me how sick and twisted your ideological position is. You've said in order to work out whether there's a power relationship, you need to know if those women are working class. That is outrageous. It's so obvious to every person in this court that a person who tortures another person to death exercises power over them, and you will not acknowledge that. Can you not see the problem with that?
No, your definition of power is so naive and shallow. I talk power in terms of the relationship to the means of production.
Yes.
And I'm saying to you, my lord, any person in that position of the ownership of the means of production cannot go and do the things you're saying they've done. I don't know those people. You have not told me who they are. You have not told me, and all I know is that it's people who killed the people in the farm and road, killed the farmer. I don't know their social standing. But the example I gave you, I know the social standing of the two parties involved. And the only thing that can motivate the farmer to do what he did, it's a hatred.
Now, this is what's astounding to me, as I say. You say the missing information, in order to come to a judgment about whether power is exercised, you need to know those people's class status, their relation to the means of production. That, again, shows me why your underlying ideological position, your embrace of communism, brings you to these absolutely untenable positions where you have to say, I'm going to reserve judgment as to whether this is a hate crime because I don't know their class position. But in the case where a farmer represents, you say, someone of a high class status, well, then I don't need to reserve judgment. I can apply my mind because I can use the Marxist rhetoric, and that's sufficient to answer the question. And my point to you is that when you use this group analysis, you miss out on individual suffering. You discard an individual human rights framework, and you don't judge people based on the content of their individual actions. You say, I need to reserve judgment until I know what their class status is. And I put to you that that is morally untenable.
No, once you don't put their class positioning to me, you can't blame it to me. I've put their class positioning to you. In my case, I said a farmer, a white farmer, killed a 13-year-old black, both in terms of power relations. You can distinguish who's more powerful than the other. And what could be the reason? The only conclusion I arrived at is that this is an act of hatred. So in your case, you don't tell me the class positioning of these people. You don't tell me who they are. All you tell me is that they cut a breast of a woman and then they wrote on the wall that killed the farmer. How am I supposed to arrive at a class conclusion without the facts being presented before me?
That's amazing to me as well, because I would think that any normal human being would be very quick to say, this strikes me as an act of racial hatred. This individual exercised power over the other individual because they tortured them to death. But you say, I can't answer because I don't have the full Marxist analysis.
See, this is a long clip that I showed there, but that's exactly why I showed that long clip. Is this really gives you a window into how Julius Malema's sick, twisted mind works. And I saw here someone said, I'm not unfortunately not going to be able to find it now in the chat, that this is the logical endpoint of critical race theory. Absolutely, he's a disciple of it. And I see Roman Kabanak of Morning Shot has tuned in. Goeienaand, meneer Kabanak. I hope you enjoy the show and that you find it insightful. Thank you very much for tuning in. And then there's the next clip that I wanted to show you is the clip. This should be the story. This should have been the story. The clip that I'm going to show you now. The clip that I'm going to show you now should have been the headline story on every major news outlet covering this court case. It should have been the headline on front pages. But I saw one headline covering this that I'm going to show you now. It's the most disturbing comment to come out of this court case. It has the most dangerous and disturbing implications of anything else that Julius Malema said. And it is one of the most horrific things that I think he's ever said on record. So I'm going to show you the clip now, what I'm talking about. Just give me 1 second to get it here.
Now, the way a sentence is structured, you say, we are not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now. That means at some future date, we may call for the slaughter of white people. Is that correct?
Let's deal with that at that future date. I don't know what's going to happen.
So you're saying you are not ruling out that in the future, you may very well call for the slaughter of white people.
It may not be me.
Could it be you?
It could be me, yes, but it may not be me.
Yeah, so it could be you. You could, at some future date, call for the slaughter of white people.
What will necessitate that?
You tell me.
I don't know. Why would I do that?
You've said you could do it in the future. Is that correct?
I can't guarantee that I can't do it or I won't do it.
So right now,
so I'm not ruling out that possibility.
If I asked you to pledge to say, I will never call for the slaughter of white people, would you make that pledge?
I will do it with ease.
Make that pledge.
Why would I do that?
I'm asking you to make that pledge. I will do it.
I won't do it.
Make the pledge.
I won't do it.
You won't do it?
Yes.
I understand.
That is bone chilling. That is the most disturbing thing to come out of this court case. That quote. And firstly, I want to give credit to Advocate Oppenheimer. He handled it brilliantly. When he asked him, would you pledge that you would never call for the slaughter of white people? He said, no, absolutely, easy. And then Advocate Oppenheimer's like, all right, make that pledge. Do it now. And then Malema was in a corner. But it shows something very interesting here. So firstly, media doesn't freak out about this. There was one headline that I saw that covered this. It was only basically the alternative media that focused on this quote. Before I continue, I forgot to give you the timestamp. So the timestamp is on day 8, and it is at 1:11:15. That's the timestamp if you want to go check it out for yourself, the broader context. Now, this is exactly why this court case needed to be done. So firstly, AfriForum's main goal with this court case is to win it, obviously. But the second goal was to expose Julius Malema for the extremist and hate monger with violent aspirations, clearly, that he is under oath. And we've done that very, very successfully. And Advocate Oppenheimer deserves a lot of credit for playing that massive role in doing it. But here's the thing that's astounding to me, is the fact that Julius says this. What I said this didn't make the headlines, really. What did make the headlines? South African headlines read, Julius Malema tells court that he will be president one day. Julius Malema blows kiss at Advocate Oppenheimer. That was the news stories that people were focusing on. Julius Malema talks about his tragic past. Those were the news stories that the South African media were focusing on, not the leader of the third largest party in the country saying under oath that he cannot rule out that he will never call for the slaughtering of an entire racial group based on their race in the future. That didn't make the news. It was mentioned in some articles in, like I said, in the 5th or 4th paragraph in passing. Some didn't even mention it. But stupid comments, like trivial comments like, I will be president one day, make the headlines. It's sickening stuff. It's sickening stuff. And it really exposed the problems that we have in the broader society. This is not something restricted to one court case. And I see 99 Iron Duke. Thank you for tuning in. He says the overseas mainstream media did not even cover the trial. I was putting the AfriForum videos up on my Discord. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. But yeah, that was the clip that I really wanted to focus on, seeing as I think that is the story. I mean, that is what should have been the focus. Heinous, vile, disgusting comment. But no, let's focus on Julius Malema's court case antics. Let's talk about how silly he was. Let's talk about the jokes he cracked. Let's talk about the how entertaining he was. That's what the media focused on in this country. And then EFF supporters have the absolute audacity to claim that this man is hated by the media. Give me a break. This guy is adored by the media. He sneezes and he gets a poster-sized picture of himself on every front page. Afrikaans and English newspapers. That's Julius Malema. Blue-eyed boy of the media. Poster child of the new South Africa, according to the commentariat. That's it. That's the mask that slipped this week. Not just that Julius Malema was exposed to more people for the personal, real, vile person that he is. A political leader, a prominent political leader that can't even pledge that he won't call for the slaughtering of white people. That was what he is exposed to, that he was exposed as. But something else that was exposed was the fact that the media are not going to hold him accountable. And thank goodness for the alternative media, like, for example, Morning Shot, Roman Cabernac. Please go subscribe to his channel. He tuned in here in the chat. People like Joe Emilio, people like the Main Patria podcast, people like Ronaldo Gous, people like Chris Wyatt, alternative media, YouTubers, and online personalities that focused on the real news from this court case, rather than talking about, oh, Julius Malema was so silly in court this week. You won't believe what he said. That's the thing. So anyway, yeah, yeah, that's the part that I really wanted to focus on, because seeing as I'm playing journalist this week, seeing as I have to actually point out the things that are notable in this court case. Sure, there was something else. I just want to go check quickly. I'm actually in the middle of writing another opinion piece. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll leave that for another time. All right. So yeah, let's get into the next clip. We've had enough conversation around that one. Oh yeah. Before I continue, I see. Thank you for reminding me, Maxons. I'm not used to chat just flying by, and I kind of forget sometimes about the ones that I want to highlight. So you gave me a 50 North Korean currency, it seems. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So Maxons asks, do you think that Malema is true in his statements, or is he just saying what a large majority of the black majority is thinking so that he can be popular? I truly believe that Julius Malema is a true believer, just from seeing him testify and listening to him speak. This man genuinely believes what he's saying. He's not just saying it to get support. He's not just saying it. I think he's genuinely ideologically possessed. He's possessed by his ideology, an evil ideology. Like it's pretty much the same as demonic possession. And he genuinely believes what he's saying. And no, the large majority of black South Africans don't agree with Julius Malema. They actually quite despise him and view him as vile. You should actually go see what the majority of black South Africans on social media says about him, not the people with red berets in their profile pictures. He's actually quite hated by the majority of black South Africans. All right. And you will only know that if you actually speak to black South Africans in person, in normal people, not just online personalities. Social media will give you this impression that the EFF is supported by like the majority of South Africans, which is not the case. Talk to some regular people, then you'll realize how hated Mr. Malema is. He's despised. All right. Oh yeah, how can I forget? Sichle as well. Big Daddy Liberty did also a massive service of covering this court case very well. Go check his channel out as well. He's Big Daddy Liberty, Sichle Ngobise. Your chat is flying. Man, Patria says 144 in the chat. Hectic stuff. Well, thank you very much, Dumo, for tuning in. Also, you got a shout out. I hope you heard it. Go check out his channel, Man Patria. They do excellent analysis over there. I actually posted one of their latest videos on my Twitter this week. Very, very good. And congratulations on that massive view count you got on your previous episode. Very much deserved. It was a matter of time, man. It was a matter of time. All right. So now let's get on to the other. There's a few clips still left that I wanted to show you. I really should be careful that I don't run out of time. Okay, those two are connected, so I can leave that for now. Okay, so the next clip I want to show you, the timestamp is 1/16/24, day 8. 1/16/24. If you want to go check out for yourself, let me just get it here. 1 second. All right, and now let me just present that. All right. No, yes. Here we go.
Mr. Malema, I'm giving you your speech. I'm showing you the gloss. I'm pointing out the tactic that you've used. And at the heart of this tactic, something deeply sinister and deeply antithetical to the value of non-racialism, a value which is built into our constitution. In section 1 of our constitution, it says South Africa is a nation founded on the value of non-racialism. The idea that we judge people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And what you do is you try and attribute guilt through groups. So instead of judging someone as an individual, what you do is you allocate blame to a group merely because they share the same melanin count, the same skin tone as other people, that they happen to look like other people. So you want to hold modern white South Africans liable for crimes committed by people hundreds of years ago who happen to look like them. And that's the sickness. That's the danger that you're doing, is that you are trying to describe a whole group of people as criminals, murderers, land thieves, without any evidence that any of those individuals have committed those crimes. And that is antithetical to building a nation founded on the values of reconciliation and of healing. It's divisive and it's racist.
He gave me a long speech. I don't know what is the question, my lord. He's addressing a political rally of some sort.
Mr. Malema, is
What's
it the
your
case?
question?
I'll ask you a very simple question. Is it the case that you hold white people as a group liable for the sins of their fathers?
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Now, I'm putting it to you that that is racist. That if individual black people were held accountable for the sins of other people who happen to share their melanin counts, there are black people that you will accept have committed the crimes of murder, rape, theft. But it would be improper to make a claim that all black people are murderers, thieves, and rapists. That would be racist to do so. Do you accept that?
My brother, when the white people came here and took our land, they didn't come and take our land as an individual. They took it as settlers and then pushed us to a land that is not even productive and made us to stay like sardines in congested environments with no economic opportunities. It is white people who must be ashamed of what they've done to us. You cannot turn tables now and want to blame me for the crimes committed by white people. It is a white regime that killed children in 1976. It is the white regime that killed children in the 80s and in the early 90s. It is white people who engaged in the wars of dispossession and forcefully took our land and our cows. Why can't you take responsibility? Why can't you for once just say sorry for the crimes we have committed against you? Why do you want to become victims when we are the biggest victims here? When we have lost everything? When we as black people remain a traumatized nation? A nation that doesn't know what the future holds for them. At least you are guaranteed the future. At least you know if it doesn't work for you here, you can go somewhere else. We've got nowhere to go. And then you come here and want to accuse me, a victim of racism, of being a racist. It's a huge insult, not only to me, but to black people. Madiba coerced us into reconciling with people who have never been one with. That was a myth. It is unrealistic. You can't reconcile if you have never been together. You never came here with an intention to be with us. You came here with an intention to conquer us.
See,
and we remain conquered.
You using this term you, and this is detached from reality. You want to say that you, me, white people,
you
are the same as people from 1652, from 350 years ago.
You are the
You
same.
want to say it's the same.
You are the same. You are the
Now,
same.
There's something.
All right. I see time is running out. There's one more clip that I wanted to show you before we have to say goodbye, because at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be on Joe Emilio's show. Can't be late. So the timestamp is 2/41/45 that I want to show you now, where Julius Malema is presented by a farm murder case and his callous response. So 2/41/45. Let's see here, 2:41.
Swargefari.
The complainant has led evidence of someone whose wife was murdered in front of him and who's now paralyzed. He testified in this court. And he said whenever he hears that song, it brings back the memory of that day. He broke into tears in this court. That is trauma. That is legitimate trauma. Is your claim, does that trauma, does that evidence motivate you to stop singing the song?
No. You say nothing about the trauma of black people that I spoke about here.
I'm asking about.
And then you
song.
want
Let's
to
focus on that.
individualize the revolution. You are individualizing the whole thing. It can't be.
So that individual case would not move you.
No, I'm not moved, Shem. With people who are just a fundraised in the farms, come.
And then what I wanted to add here, just for the sake of time, is 2:42:30. Yeah, 2:44:30. Sorry, I think I misspoke. That's the timestamp.
Now, I've asked you a simple question, which was respond to someone's legitimate pain and trauma. Your response is to say, I'm not moved by that. I think that person was coached. And then to change topic entirely and say, but my pain, the stem, the national anthem. To say that, in other words, in 1994, it was agreed that we would have reconciliation, that we would heal the nation, that the national anthem contains many different languages in it, and you want to denounce that, and you want to use this as a platform to denounce the national anthem. But you will not respond to legitimate pain of someone who's been traumatized by hearing you chant, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. You want to change the topic.
I responded to that. You don't like my answer. I said I'm not moved.
Yes.
I said I'm not moved. Let me repeat 5 times. I'm not moved by that case you brought here. I am not moved. And if that will make me lose a case, let me lose it. I'm not moved.
That is chilling stuff. We had a farm attack survivor come testify in court, and he was brought to tears by his experience. Malema says he's not moved by it. He repeats it 5 times. Guys, I'd love to do more analysis, but I have an interview to get to on Joe Emilio's channel. You can go check out me over there at Joe Emilio. But now I just want to finish off before we say goodbye. Firstly, again, you have to remember to go check out Bitvice, the sponsor of today's episode again. So Bitvice is the only place in South Africa that sells Bitcoin direct to your self-custody, meaning that unlike a traditional crypto exchange, you don't have to trust anyone to hold your Bitcoin for you. This removes the largest risk associated with Bitcoin. And if you are interested in learning about Bitcoin, check out their podcast, By the Horns. It's available on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you have any questions, if you want to get into crypto, go check out their channel and also their website is linked in the description. And I'm very grateful for them sponsoring Stream of Consciousness. Now, maybe just some final thoughts before we say goodbye. Firstly, massive turnout tonight, more than 220 people watching live at one point. You can help out the show by leaving a like. If you're new to this channel, you can also subscribe for more types of this analysis, but also interviews with interesting people. I will be covering this court case more in the future as well as it progresses. Someone asked in the chat, when will there be a verdict? We will be keeping you up to date when there will be a verdict. Just keep an eye on AfriForum's website and our social media. Also become a member of AfriForum to support everything we do. If you live in South Africa, just go to AfriForum's website, www.afriforum.co.za, and click on join. And then also, if you live abroad, that doesn't mean you can't support AfriForum. You can go to Friends of AfriForum. Just Google Friends of AfriForum, and you can become a donating friend of the civil rights organization AfriForum. So cheers, guys. Have a good one. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for all your great questions. Thank you for all your interesting comments. And thank you very much for just sticking with me with this show. I mean, it's definitely difficult at times, especially when you hear many of the stories of the survivors of these brutal attacks. But that's why we do what we do. Our detractors and our critics can scream all they want about you're just in it for the money, you're just doing it to get money. But I know in my heart why I do what I do. I come from a farming community. I know people affected by farm attacks and farm murders. It's part of my growing up. It's part of my background. It's an issue I care very deeply about, and it's an issue I'd fight for even if I wasn't working for an organization like AfriForum. And thank you very much. Please also share the stream with anyone that you think needs to see it. Share it with people that are interested in the court case but haven't had the time to watch the entire thing. But yeah, you guys can go check me out now on Joe Emilio. That's how you spell it. I'm just going to put this on. Deborah says, thanks, CCC, on Joe Emilio. Just type that name into YouTube. Check out his live stream. That's, I think, already going live. I'm going to be jumping over there. I want to see you over there because I'm going to be continuing my analysis there. Again, thank you very much for all your excellent comments and for everyone's questions as well. Very thoughtful questions tonight, and for tuning in, leaving a like. If you're watching and it's not live anymore, you can still share your thoughts on the court case and the stream. Just leave it in the comments. I read all of them and respond to as many as I can. So cheers, guys. Have a good one, and God bless.